Sandworm. Snape? Freaking creep. We're gonna inject the payload. No, he's gonna die. He's awake now.
Oh, boy.
We made it, people.
This is going to be a great episode.
We surmounted the hill of nonstop games for the first 5 episodes of this season, and we finally have reached
Finally have a movie to talk about.
a movie to talk about.
Oh, and boy, is it a movie to talk about.
Ooh.
I saw this movie. Trevor saw it once before me, but we went and watched it again. But I'm coming off of 2 days of not seeing this movie.
He's had no time to mull it over.
And I still have not recovered. We're talking about Project Hail Mary, by the way.
Could you tell?
I told Trevor today, because Trevor was talking to me about the soundtrack, which we're suckers for. I told Trevor that I actually had to stop. I had to force myself to stop listening to the soundtrack. It was giving me Pandora syndrome. I don't know if that's the right term that it's called.
That's just the one that I used because I knew you would know what I meant.
Yeah, it made me so sad, but not like in a sad because it's a sad score. Sad that
you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
And you miss it. You long for it. You wish you had a connection with the rock. I saw this meme that someone posted that like Ryan Gosling took the "he's just like me" thing a step further with this movie, proving that I also can have better chemistry with a rock than with another human being.
Oh, it's true.
He's literally me. I actually don't know the origin of that meme, but I find it really funny.
I love it
all the time.
I love it. Well, before we dive too far into this, I feel like it is our job and our obligation to talk about some kind of news, and that being they just released the trailer for Harry Potter Season 1, and it's coming about like half a year early.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. I thought it was supposed to come out in summer of 2027.
Oh, I don't remember what they had said was their potential release window.
Yeah.
I feel like Christmas makes a lot of sense, though.
Absolutely.
For this one.
Yep.
So, truthfully, there would be a lot to dive into with that, but we have a lot we want to talk about Project Hail Mary. But for me, I think it looks really good. I can see the direction that they're taking, especially with like book accuracy things. They definitely made sure to highlight him being bullied in school. I bet there's going to be like, what's probably going to annoy most people is I would bet, I don't know how many episodes there's going to be per season.
Mm-hmm.
I would wager probably 8 to 12, like most shows now
probably.
are. But I would think that you probably don't go to Hogwarts until like episode 3.
Yeah, probably.
That's what I would think.
You're probably right. I think it looks really good. I think it's going to... we talked about this during Harry Potter month, but...
you guys remember that?
I think...
You remember Harry Potter month? I think we do.
Our least popular episodes on date.
We don't know what you talking about. British.
No, looking at it, like, it looks very playful and very whimsical.
Yeah.
It looks very whimsical.
In a word, magic.
Yeah, but it's going to be really hard for me. It's going to take me probably a couple episodes to like separate the two, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously all the old actors are like, don't have those expectations coming into this because these kids deserve to not have that weight on their shoulders. And I would agree, but I would also say like, it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard seeing like not all of the people that we're used to seeing play these parts.
Yeah. But I
But I applaud what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I hope that it goes well.
I hope that, every decision that they make and alter the screenplay, that it works.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping that I can have both. Right? I can have my cake and eat it too with Harry Potter.
Yep.
In visual medium.
Yep. However,
comment down below if you're excited.
Yeah.
Whatever. All that nonsense.
But on to the main event.
Ding 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 ding. Do I need to hold the microphone and I can't do it upside down like you actually would, but ladies and gentlemen. No, actually. How do you want to go about this?
I don't know.
I think we should try and do it like we've done with our other movie analyses.
Okay.
That we enjoy that format.
Yeah.
So honestly, it's really hard to talk about this movie because it's really hard to compile my thoughts into a comprehensive list.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't like I've had
a lot longer to process
a week.
It. Almost a week, yeah.
Yeah. Because if any of you have been sticking around this show for a while, you know that I've said that I try not to form an official opinion on a film until I've seen it at least twice. And obviously every time a new movie comes out, we like to record right after we see it. And usually that will have been my first time seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
But this time I've gotten to see it twice.
Mm-hmm. I guess, real quick to prod your mind, what did you think of it the second time? What?
Well, it helped that the second time was in a greater picture format.
Really?
As before. Obviously, the very first time seeing it in just standard theater was just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Still great.
Mm-hmm.
Still had all the emotional beats and everything. But having it that grandiose and, enveloping me in the whole experience was definitely a step above.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, the only thing that was lost was just my curiosity because I already knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
When it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But this time I actually got to feel it. So I urge everyone to always go see films in the biggest screen possible.
Mm-hmm. I would,
if possible.
I would as well. Yeah, go ahead. Try to form an opinion.
Well, the one thought that I've actually put together is that Aaron Rodgers, you can eat your heart out. Step aside because there is now the greatest Hail Mary I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
I've been rehearsing. I've been rehearsing for this moment in my car, on my drives home from work, ever since I saw the movie. I listen to the soundtrack going to work. I am depressed during work. And then as I'm driving home, I'm formulating my thoughts because I have become Amazon MGM's unofficial biggest unpaid sponsor of this movie. Literally anyone I have connections with and share any form of a friendship with, I have been hey, have you seen Project Hail Mary? Well, you should. I have plugged it in every single conversation I've had with everyone I've interacted with. So it's been on my mind.
So those extra $60 or so in the box office that you won't see in the stats, just know
it's me.
It's him.
I'm doing your dirty work.
He's getting referrals.
But no, as I've been coming home from work, I've been trying to formulate my thoughts for obviously this format, a little less of a Tristan take and a more of a professional take. I can't just come in and be like, oh, it made me feel sad, but in a good way, because people won't understand that. So I've been trying to like, how can I properly convey what I felt and why I felt it? I've been trying to take a more Trevor approach at it than a Tristan approach of movie good.
I like. I just wanted to mention, like what I said to you coming out of the theater when you were trying to put your thoughts into words right out of the gate, that this movie and everyone who created it, everyone that put in the work to make this movie a reality, it fully covers like the emotional spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
You feel everything in this film.
Yep.
And that's awesome.
Like every emotion that the human person can feel, you feel it.
Like I understood emotion better watching this than watching any of the Inside Outs. And they explain emotion.
Well, and I feel like that added to the stakes of this movie because like it felt so real. Right? Like not because of like what they were doing felt real and yada yada yada, but like the plot and the emotions that the characters, all of the characters feel and express and show is what really sold this movie for me. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Like, you know, let's
just jump
make
into
this just segmented, right? So like just the stuff that stood out to you the most, scene wise.
Like visuals?
No, just
or
anything
scene?
that you pointed out, you pick out, that you remember, that you liked particularly.
Well, see, that's where it's hard for me because I'm always drawn. I've mentioned this so many times. I'm a sucker for color and for vivid color in that, right? Colorblind, not touching on this again, but like the color,
That's a lie.
The color stuff is always what sticks out to me because I'm always a sucker for when they use vivid color because then my color deficient eyes can see things better, right? Like the dull colors that like the Odyssey is gonna be in, or that Dune is in, or you know a lot of the Marvel films are in. Like these movies aren't appealing to me visually; they're more appealing to me story wise, right? Because I can get invested in that. But when there's a movie that has great visuals, I already latch onto it way more, and it takes less time for me to get sold on a movie because of the color spectrum that they use, because I can see it. And not only can I see it, but like I can see it, right? So outside of that, because that's a given in a movie like this stuff, probably scene-wise, I think my favorite scene has got to be spoilers.
Obviously.
Spoilers.
Obviously.
My favorite scene has got to be when is it going off of the soundtrack, We Go Fishing.
Time Go Fishing.
Time Go Fishing. Yeah. That scene from the moment that he steps out of the Hail Mary and then to when he wakes up and finds Rocky like almost dead, right? That entire scene like sent me. Like I don't know if you can see, I have a nail biting problem, especially when I'm anxious, and my fingers look like a war zone. They're obviously healed a little bit better, but like when I came out of the theater, like I had blood all over my hands. Not to make that gross for anybody, but like that's how much I was so far out of my seat that I was falling off the ledge that we were sitting on. Like that was a good scene. And that got me in all of the feels. Like I cried.
Yeah,
I cried at that
to
scene.
add to that, what I think that this, I guess going back to like the emotional spectrum of this film, is like you're not like necessarily prepared going into that scene, because everything else beforehand is just very funny. Much has been like charming and good, and it's been sad, and it's but you are growing with the character of Ryland Grace.
But the sadness that you felt up to that isn't like sadness.
It's empathy.
Yeah.
You're feeling empathetic for humanity and for Grace especially.
Yeah.
But then like going into that one, that scene, you're like, well, we just watched a whole montage of them figuring out that life is reason, and he's getting better at his piloting skills. And they do a really good job of like very, very subtly foreshadowing things.
Mm-hmm.
You're not thinking or expecting like, oh, this is going to go horrendously wrong. Obviously, if you've read the book, you know these things, which is part of the reason why I chose not to.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to be thoroughly
I did not
surprised.
want to know things.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden the music picks up, percussion picks up, shaky cam, loud noises, like so loud to the point that in some instances it's harder to hear Rocky speaking because there's so much going on outside. All of a sudden you're now having camera angles where Grace is in the background. He's not the focus because you're seeing all these other things.
Yeah.
Whereas pretty much up to that point in the movie, everything had been
Grace
really centered around him and Rocky and both of them. Yes. And now there's more things you need to be focused on. And honestly, the first time I watched the movie, when he gets knocked out and he drops the container, I thought it was gone. Legit. I know that like movie making brain and like, being able to think about what's going to happen next, like, no, duh. And then like Rocky says, like, we can get it again. We could try again later. You're thinking like, oh yeah, well. And then, everything.
Yeah.
That you were saying that goes on, and you're right back to, you're not feeling empathetic sad. You are just sad.
Like you're not just like feeling sad. You're like scared sad, right? Like you're scared. That was just a beautiful scene. And then like for it to finish up with like, Grace gets out of his, that's not really a coma, but he like wakes up. He wakes up and he follows like the ash trail back to Rocky, and Rocky's like sitting there and he makes like one singular squeak, and Grace is like, yeah, buddy, I'll watch you while you sleep. Like that was a very heavy scene for me. That was a really heavy scene. And then like eventually he taps on the window, like perfect. Like it just was so good. That from like beginning to resolution of that like long scene, it was everything that like it took you through the spectrum of human emotion, right? Because you were happy at the beginning because they're joking around and they're playing with each other, and like Rocky makes a couple jokes and Grace makes a couple jokes, and you're like, aha, hee. And then it's like very anxious, right? Anxiety inducing, watching like the fishing, and then really like fear. And then all of a sudden like sadness, and then happiness. Like it takes you through everything in like a 20 minute span. And like Trevor said, like you're not prepared for this.
No.
Like this comes and it hits you, and because of how the movie has been paced leading up to this, it like gut checks you.
Yeah, the heaviest moment leading up to that was, that science facility exploding in a memory.
Yeah.
And like you don't have any emotional attachment to anyone that died in that explosion because you only know the name of one guy that was there.
Yeah.
And then they're gone. You're like, oh man.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
And now not to like force a segue.
No, force the segue.
But
because we won't. We won't move on.
But I feel like we really need to give Ryan Gosling his flowers for this movie. Because he was extraordinary.
Well, and really this movie only happened because of him.
Exactly.
He bought into this 6 years ago and was the executive producer.
Less than that. Book came out in 21.
Well, right, but he bought into this and was the main executive producer for forever.
Yeah.
Just making sure that this movie was done right and done properly and had the funding to actually get the ball rolling. Yeah.
Yeah, but he is such a charmer.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
Like in previous Ryan Gosling projects that I'd seen, it almost kind of felt like he was kind of playing the same person, which to be honest, like the most recent one that I've seen this come out was The Fall Guy, which it very much is a very similar personality to how he portrays Ryland Grace. But it's, rather than just being like funny, he's smart funny in this one.
Yeah.
Right. And even though most of the things that he's being humorous and charming with, you don't really understand all the time. Like the whole xenon's a gas. Yes.
Sure, pal. I don't know.
I knew that at one point, I bet.
And then he scans again. He's like,
being able to act by yourself has to be so difficult.
Yeah.
And then on top of, your only scene partner for most of the movie being either a puppet or something that isn't there.
Yeah.
Also has to be really difficult. Which, obviously that's been done before
Mm-hmm.
in other projects, but
it was done to perfection in this one.
yes. It killed. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
You felt everything that he was feeling. Honestly, almost just as especially when he's actually interacting with other people. I think to me, his best, well, I don't know. This is just an objective opinion that I'm just spitballing right now, but I think his best piece of acting in that film is the whole sequence starting with him being told he's going on the mission to him being, forced into a coma.
Yeah.
And on Earth.
Yeah.
I think that whole sequence it's a little heartbreaking, I think it's really good. The way he doesn't know how to deal with a sudden and extreme feeling of being told that,
he has no choice.
Yeah, you are the only hope that we have. You're going. Even if you feel like a coward and you don't want to be, but you can't do it.
Yeah.
You cannot bring yourself. You don't have the strength. They just force you to have it. Which, I think most people can, to a very lower degree, understand that.
Yeah, but that I think that again, it's there's a reason why this movie why the meme is he's literally me.
Yeah.
Right? Because think about it. If I'm put in that situation, obviously he doesn't have anything to stay for other than being a teacher. But even when I was single and I didn't have Grace or my daughter or any of the friends that I have now, right? Even then I would have been no, I'm good. Right? His character is so relatable because he's literally me, right? There's not a single scene, at least I found, there's not a single scene in this entire movie where like Ryland Grace does something and you're like, I don't get that. Don't get that struggle. Right? Like at every moment, I'm like, yeah, I'd do the same thing. Yep, do the same thing there. Sure, I don't know this equation, but I'd probably do the same thing he was doing. You know?
Yeah.
Like there was never, I think that's why this movie was so like compared to The Martian, which is another Andy Weir book. Weir. Another Andy Weir book that was turned into a movie, like which The Martian's also a great movie, not digging on that at all. But comparing the two, right? Like comparing the main character in The Martian to the main character in Project Hail Mary, like
one's an astronaut.
Yeah. Like,
the other's not.
One's just a guy, right? Yeah. And the reason why this one will hit more always than The Martian is because this one, you feel like you are in his place as you're watching the movie versus The Martian. You're like, sure, man, grow potatoes on the planet. I don't know.
That's pretty smart.
Like, I don't know nothing about this, you know? So I think that like not to like totally take your spotlight, but I feel like that's why like that adds on. That's why like this right Ryan Gosling was so good, and why his performance was so good, is that it wasn't like it didn't feel like Ryan Gosling acting as Ryland Grace. It felt like Ryan Gosling being Ryan Gosling in a movie, right? Because he's got, like we were talking about, like he's got that style, right? I don't remember, you were telling me about this over the last weekend or on Monday, I can't remember, but you were telling me about how like Ryan Gosling versus like Ryan Reynolds.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I was saying that Ryan Gosling was the effortless, charismatic personality.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just who he is. He just exudes it.
And because of that,
humble, charismatic.
Yeah, and because of that, that's what made this movie succeed so much.
Yeah. I think what I also found to be so impressive was how well he could elevate his scene partners every time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, when he's not doing most of the talking, like one of my favorite sequences in the whole film is all his stuff with Carl. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the script, especially for that portion, is so good.
We just made a baby, Carl.
It totally like any doubts I might have had at the beginning of the film, the first time I watched it, wiped away.
Yeah.
After that part, it was so clever and
I think that
fun.
Made that so much easier for me to follow the movie, because like in the first couple like opening scenes, they like show science and they show him interacting with the kids, and then science, and then him interacting with Carl, and I'm like, the science isn't bringing me in here because I don't know any of this stuff. It totally
felt like, I can't remember the name of the guy that made the screenplay. I think his name is Drew. Last name starts with a G. I can't remember, but I think he did such a good job of, you know, taking a source material that is so science heavy, and like Andy Weir did all that was possible for him to make sure that the science was accurate and good. Being able to take something like that and lead a random moviegoer who knows nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like I really was learning as it went.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
it starts right in the middle school classroom, and they ask what the Petrova line is.
It was definitely science for dummies.
Yeah, it was so good. And like, obviously, you know, I don't know what it means to set the infrared light to the frequency of CO2. I don't know how you do that, but I bet that's something you can do in real life.
Yeah.
And then like the scene of Ryan Gosling just studying the astrophage all by himself, also great, because he's like letting out his awkward in the way that he does while you know, studying and doing all of this. And then I can't remember the actress's name, but whoever played Strat, she also did such a good job being very stoic and no nonsense. And I don't care if the world hates me for this. I'm going to get it done.
Yeah.
Kind of a attitude. The general consensus is that it would be better if you did not die. Executed perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great line delivery on all fronts from everybody.
But and if I may pivot, like, because again, we can go on and on. Yeah. There's so much of this movie to appreciate. Like, I think, you know, this is the perfect movie for the argument that me and Trevor have been saying since we started this podcast. And that is in the topic of CGI versus practical, right? This has been the one consistent thing that, like, in every movie that we've watched or ever talked about, like, me and you always come back to, this is why the graphics on this look good and this is why it didn't, right?
Yeah.
This movie is like the prime number one example of why practical effects will always
Oh my.
Be superior to full CGI, right? This is the stuff that, like, the CGI in this movie felt very reminiscent of, like, Pirates of the Caribbean and Transformers to me. And, like, the first Iron Man. Where
pioneering kind of?
No, meaning, like, I know what I'm looking at is fake.
Oh.
I know what I'm looking at is made in a studio, not real. But
if I don't think about it.
But damn, is it really hard to differentiate what's real in this scene and what is not real in this scene.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt. Like, you watch Davy Jones. It's the same thing, right? Is Davy Jones real? Because he looks as real as Orlando Bloom standing right across from him, right? Or the Iron Man suit.
I think
is Robert Downey Jr. actually in the suit? I don't know. He looks like it. And that's how it was here. Like, did they find a rock organism? I don't know, because it looks as real as Ryan Gosling does. Yeah. It looks more real than Baby Yoda, and Baby Yoda's as real as it gets.
Yeah, I think, you know, I think that I saw, like, an interview from the red carpet premiere or something, that the puppeteer for Rocky, who also ended up being the voice for Rocky, he was asked, like, how much of it was the puppet versus CG, and I think he said it was around 50-50, which I would have thought it would have been more practical. So that's, you know, awesome. But I think now that I've seen the movie twice, I can see why they would, you know, shift it. I think every time
any of the movement scenes,
every time Rocky is moving around a room, it's not real.
Yeah.
Right. Anytime he's, like, still in a ball or still in his cage,
is close-ups, that's all real puppet.
And there's definitely some portions that it's very obvious.
I was gonna say, you can see now that you know that like, I knew it was a puppet. Like, looking back in my memory, like, there's a lot of, like, what's the word? Like, stiff. There's a lot of stiff movement, right? Where you can see Rocky go, right? Instead of, like, oh.
Or, like, at the very beginning, the very first time he taps on the glass, it's like, kind of a thing. You know? Or, like, thinking about it now, like, the meta of him doing a puppet show at the beginning, like, puppeteering a puppet.
Yeah.
And, like, how, like, oh yeah, that is totally two hands going on a thing. But, like, it totally just adds to it because he's a rock. He's supposed to be stiff.
Yeah.
He's not dynamic and fluid.
No.
Right?
And I would say that he looks more goofy when he is. Right? Like, the movement scenes, though funny and good, I guess to give my one critique of the movie, I didn't like the CG scenes with Rocky just because it felt so weird, because I enjoyed watching him be puppeteered, right? Like, It's the same when you're watching The Mandalorian and you see like Grogu do his flips and stuff. You're like, ugh. Make that guy crawl.
You had that in
again.
you? Just stick him in the freaking stroller.
Yeah. Like it's not that it's bad, right? When he's moving around on the ball and stuff. It's not that it's bad. It's just like it's a little off-putting because that's you can see like, okay, this.
You're like, oh, it switched. Like the one thing. This is honestly the only bit of the CG that I honestly like. I could immediately tell, and it wasn't that great. Was the very end of the movie when you have the wide shot of Grace walking down the shoreline and Rocky just like jumps in the water and comes back. You can totally see that like the water he jumps into and he himself are not real. It's like there's almost like a little bit of like sliding that is sometimes unavoidable. And it's like, oh, he's like in front of the plane of the camera shot right now. And like I picked up on that the very first time I watched it because I was like focusing on Rocky as he was, moving. And I was like, oh well.
However, I will say that they disguise it well enough that like an average, like if you were to ask Grace, hey, could you tell? She wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Right. For people like me and you, whose part-time
and we know what we
part-time gig is to dissect movies, like I have to give my props and my praise to all of that, both like set design, prop design, screenplay, video, audio, like all of that stuff just clumped up. It was like,
yeah, the Phil Lord and Christopher Miller like totally capitalized on their, what is it, like $250 million budget for the film.
Think so.
Obviously, most of it went into pretty much just building like the centrifuge part of the Hail Mary, actual part of the lab, right? But, like I'm sure, like I don't think that they're on a sound stage when they're on an aircraft carrier, right?
Yeah, well, and they hide a lot of stuff too, right? Like especially in your CG and stuff, like they hide a lot and they disguise a lot, right? That makes you be like, oh wow, yeah, like you like going like obviously the obvious one is like the volume. The volume now has become.
I don't think they used to.
No, well.
Oh, you're using that as
like
my bad. I'll shut up.
With the volume, like when that first came out, you were like, whoa. But now when you watch like Star Wars stuff now, you're like, I can see
like,
you can like the perspective is a little weird, something's a little flat, or like they only have it in like a tunnel shot because the volume's not the horizon. Right. And it probably costs as much to make the horizon on top of the volume as it does to run the volume in person. So like now that you've like seen the volume, you can see it in scenes. It's not, you can physically see it, but you can see the scene where you're like, oh, that's the volume scene versus the blue screen scene. Right. Yeah. However, like, or like vice versa, CGI, like you can, now that we're how many years into CGI, full CGI movies, like you can see the CGI and you're like, ugh.
You can start to see techniques, right?
Yeah.
You pick up on that stuff.
But in this one, they hide it so well that a lot of the stuff that is CG still looks like incredibly real, right? Like
I think a big reason for
what is Rocky's ship called? Is it just called Blip A?
I don't know if they ever have it, if it has a name. It might just be Blip A
because that's what
we hear.
Anyways, when like the Hail Mary is docked to Blip A, or like when you see the Hail Mary flying through space, like that looks real versus like the CGI in Interstellar, right?
Or like it looks crazy good and photoreal, but obviously there's not a black hole right there.
Yeah, but it's fake. Right, or as like the spacecraft comes, or like Guardians of the Galaxy, where the spacecraft comes, right?
Yeah,
you're like, it looks real, but it also like doesn't look real.
I wonder if they did use miniatures for anything.
I'd imagine.
I would think they might have, and then just like CG replace them for some things, for like lighting or whatever, so like it fits in the scene better.
Yeah,
and I have to wonder if any amount of of Rocky's ship is real when they're actually in it for those brief moments. I would think maybe that like cool lighting scene where the light passes through those the cheese grater rocks. I can't think of anything else to call them.
Yeah.
Those might be a real thing, but you know, the huge wide shot of all of the strings that they use to communicate along the ship, I doubt they had a Rocky puppet.
Well, it also makes it really interesting because there was no green or blue screens used. So it makes you like really wonder how they made that.
Yeah. With that stuff, like
obviously
probably
I don't know this stuff as well as you do.
Well,
but
even I only know what I know. I don't even know if it's up to date information anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But like now with some of the behind the scenes stuff that we've seen, like very clear they didn't use blue or green screen for the scenes that he was just in space outside.
Mm-hmm.
And which for the most part, I can see why they wouldn't do that. Probably not that difficult as long as you just have it black behind you and like very harsh white lighting in one spot. It's fixed. It's not going to move or change.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's space. Dark with a light from some star somewhere shining on you.
Mm-hmm.
And which for one thing, I actually love that look. Like that extreme contrast of dark to light.
Yeah, like no shadow.
You know,
it's
like,
just dark.
Yeah. So, like, incredible composition work, incredible stuff. Just like the only experience I have is just masking things, just cutting a shape out of a video or a picture and then putting it on top of something else. Like, that's another level of being able to do that, especially like when you have like Adrian in front of you. Like, I bet, you know, they have green filter, red filter, whatever on lights shining from those specific angles to actually achieve that look.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you're putting that in front of an actual person. That's not a real planet.
Yeah.
But I don't know, with the amount of practical stuff they did, they might have just had like a petri dish that they filled with glitter and other substances and swirled it around a little bit, put it on a dark backdrop with a light on it. Blew it up.
It wouldn't surprise me because like when they show like the Petrova line in the infrared, when it's like red and you can see the Hail Mary like in the line as they're collecting it, that was made with just like it was just like color dropped into like a tank of water, and then they just flipped on the IR camera and just filmed that. So like that streak that you see, that's real. They just like superimposed the Hail Mary as a little blip on the screen there, right? So
yeah,
a lot of that stuff was practical. Same with like, oh my gosh, same with like the actual like I'm having a moment scene. I watched the behind the scenes video on that one, and that is just like the craziest amount of original creativity, human creativity at its finest.
Yeah.
I'm going to take some Christmas lights. I'm going to strap them to some chicken wire, put that chicken wire in a box around Ryan Gosling, and just turn them on. But on this camera, we're going to flip on only IR and then like have somebody off camera flick water onto it.
I really hope.
And he's like,
I really hope
the director's like, to the naked eye, it looks just like he's floating. It kind of looked pretty weird. But like on the IR camera, it's beautiful. It got the effect we were going for.
I can only imagine what it would be like for Ryan Gosling, you know, after they yell cut to come back to the monitor. They're like, hey man, here's what do you think? And it's just like gorgeous in shot in camera like that. You're like,
that'd be mind blowing.
By Jove. You've created a masterpiece.
Yeah. So I guess I can sum this portion up on my end of just props to the behind the scenes team and everything. Like
I have to imagine that for the bulk of this film that the crew couldn't have been that large. for something. Like once you have the set design team build everything, and obviously they're still there in case something breaks or whatever.
Right.
Like the actual on set crew, you've got like stunts and you've got the sound people and yada yada. But like for any given individual scene, especially when they're in the Hail Mary, like that's gotta be cramped. You only have so much. I don't know if there's like a fourth wall or it really is like a whole building. Some things. Obviously it's in pieces, right? You've seen the behind the scenes shots of how they did like the piloting stuff.
Yeah.
Just cut off right there. But like, oh, imagine being Ryan Gosling just sitting in that thing and there's just this glass cage with nothing in it right there.
And you're in like an 8x8 tube.
Oh man. Covered in the coolest Star Wars looking buttons and switches everywhere.
Yeah.
I hope all of them made noises and clicked and stuff.
Yeah.
What a dream.
Yeah.
The greatest fidget cube ever built.
No, but like really this movie was fun and amazing to experience. And this is what I've been like trying to like this is what I've been practicing in front of my speed dial, my audience in my car, which consists of a rubber ducky and a rubber chicken on my dash. But like before I get to that, before I get to my closing thoughts, I do want to just like point out what like I got my favorite scene and my favorite visuals and all that, but I think the scene that like really the two scenes that stood out to me most, and I have to bring attention to him because I feel like I'd be doing a really big disservice to myself, because these were the only two times that I cried. Not like cried, but like shed a singular tear in this theater. Was the first one when Rocky and Grace are sitting in the monitor room, and Rocky's like, "Do you have a mate?" And he's like, "I used to, but then she dumped me for Mark." And he's like, "I hate Mark."
Rocky hate Mark.
And then Ryan Gosling is like, "Well, what about you? Do you have a mate?" And he's like, "Yes." How long have you guys been together? And he's like, 186.3 years. And he's like, "Oh, just a honeymoon phase then." And he's like, "Rocky don't understand.
It's a long time. Bro.
It's a long time." And Rocky goes, "Not long enough." I loved that. For someone who's sitting next to his wife, like that was a good scene for me. I've mentioned lots and lots on this podcast / show or whatever, like the struggles and the feelings and the emotions that you have being a father and being married and stuff. But I always love in movies when they are able to pull on a heartstring like that I have, that is something that is so dear to me. Because I love my wife. My wife is my best friend, and there's not anyone on this planet that I am more thrilled every day that I wake up that I get to spend the rest of eternity with than my wife. And that whole scene of, wow, it's a long time. And Rocky's like, "It's not long enough." I'm like, yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Like there's not enough time that I will ever experience that won't be enough with just being with my wife. And then obviously the next scene is just when Rocky's like, "And then you go home," and Grace is like, "There's no home for me, buddy. I've come to peace with it." And then Rocky's like, "I'll give you fuel. It'll take me 6 more years to get home, but it's okay. It's worth it." And I cried. I cried during that scene because that scene is awesome. It's a very, very cool scene. It's cool because you experience a feeling of friendship that like has been building up to that moment, but like it's never addressed, right? I was always the entire movie, I was waiting for Grace's character to be like, "Hey, Rocky, I love you, man. Right? Like some form of like sharing sentiment. But they never do it. And so for that moment, that was where I was like, this is cool. This is cool. This is like a unique experience and feeling that you could feel in that moment where you're like, wow, sacrifice. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
They're really, these two are like, they're friends, but like they're kind of strangers, right?
Yeah, they're aliens.
Yeah,
to one another.
Yeah,
and
Rocky's like, I'll help you. That was a cool scene. Very, very cool scene for me.
Yeah.
Those are the moments, that and then like watching Rocky like tap on the window and Ryan Gosling's like, I'll watch you sleep. Those are the 3 moments in the entire movie that I teared up a little bit. That they all played on a heartstring of mine that I was like, what do I do?
Just let it flow. Let it happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess we're running low on time now, but I want to like really give the biggest props to Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, the directors of this film, for creating a cinematic achievement.
Absolutely.
I know that part of this is definitely recency bias, but I am willing to say that this is their greatest movie they've ever made. And they made the Spider-Verse films and the Lego movie.
Yeah.
This one is just a step above.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
This is the kind of movie that like the moment that I can like purchase it, I will. I won't even do this movie the disservice of waiting for it to come to a streaming service.
You'll buy it. Yeah.
I'm going to own this film.
Yeah. Well, and my practicing thought is to go along with that. The reason I've been thinking on the reason why this movie hits so hard is because in a genre that is so crazy oversaturated now, especially, and in this genre where the dominant like theme is just some form of violence, war, or disagreement, it was like a breath of fresh air. It was how it feels to chew 5 gum. It was so unbelievably refreshing to see an entire movie where the central theme is friendship and hope and self-reflection and
self-sacrifice.
Like it's amazing. And it like you leave the theater and you come out and you're like, wow, I feel so uplifted.
Yeah, I want to be a better person.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. And I also really enjoyed that this is probably the first alien movie I've ever watched in my life where the alien doesn't want to kill humanity.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was something that I wanted until I watched this. And I'm like, yeah, why aren't we friends?
Are you out there?
These guys are united by a common cause. And so they just become friends through it to help each other. And then they both make crazy big sacrifices out of their own personal life to put the other person or the other species first, right? Mm-hmm. And I loved that Grace's character comes full circle and is like, Rocky sacrificed himself for me, and if I don't do something, Rocky will die. So here we go. Cue the Beatles montage. Kick the buckets to earth. I'm going to save my friend.
Yeah, great sequence. Which honestly, like, I could tell from your body language that with them showing Strat on Earth and then cutting that wide shot of them going through the Arctic and hearing grandiose music, I could tell from your body language that you thought the movie was over. And actually really happy that I'd already seen the movie before, and I knew that it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because I knew you were going to like the part I had
Oh my gosh, I loved it. Yeah. It was so good.
That I know that they changed the ending somehow. I don't know how the book ends, what happens.
The only thing that's different is that Rocky basically just gives Grace an update. Like, hey, we've been tracking your star. It worked.
Oh, yeah. They definitely, it really added. Because, like, what did Grace have to go home to, right?
Yeah.
They had already, he had.
And I loved that your ship is finished whenever you want to go. And he's like, can I think about it? Yes, think about it long time.
Yeah.
I was like, right.
Oh, man.
Take my money, you little rock creature.
Maybe I'll go see that movie a third time in theaters. I don't know. Something needs to take the Lorax's record that I did not want to have when I was a kid. Grace.
Oh, this movie's a solid 10 out of 10. This has got to be one of my favorite movies of all time. No recency bias. It's probably top 5. And it's better than Interstellar. I will be the one to say it. It's better.
It's better at some things.
I knew that would get you.
No, because I do think that they belong on the same plane. It's just, this is not a tiered mountain, right? They belong together in terms of isolationist space films about rescuing humanity.
Yeah. They're really the only 2 films we got, so it's hard to be like dominant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to go. I'm glad we're at the end of this because I didn't want to go down comparing it to Interstellar because obviously the online discourse, everyone's just been doing it anyway. I didn't want to do that. But I highly encourage, if you did not care about the spoilers that we gave and you still haven't seen the movie,
go see it.
Literally, why didn't you pause this episode in the middle of it to go watch it first?
Go see it.
Go watch this movie. Amazon didn't get a single Oscar nom this year's Oscars. They're gonna have plenty.
Yeah.
This time around.
Yeah.
Go Major props to everybody that worked on this film. Mm-hmm. I love you. And I love what you made. Please do it again.
2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
Thumbs up, baby.
So good. We'll catch you next week for the Super Mario movie.
Another space film.
With Star Fox. Trevor's in shambles.
The light had to turn off for that.